Elizabeth Tudor, Queen of England, by Tegan Webster. Elizabeth Tudor was born on September 7, 1533, at Greenwich Palace in England. Her father was King Henry VII. Elizabeth's birth was a great disappointment to her father because he wanted a male heir and already had a daughter, Mary Tudor, from a prior wife. Elizabeth excelled in academics and languages. It was the norm in the 16th century for the nobility to educate their children. Elizabeth was raised as a Protestant, yet still accepted the Catholic beliefs. Elizabeth's half-brother Edward and half-sister Mary were England's previous rulers. On November 17, 1558, Elizabeth was crowned Queen of England. She is known as the Virgin Queen, Good Queen Bess, and Gloriana. At age 70, Queen Elizabeth died on March 24, 1603, at Richmond Palace in London. When Elizabeth came to the throne, the most important question the people were asking was who Elizabeth was to marry, and when she was going to have children. Elizabeth was the last of the royal family, and it was expected for her to reproduce in order for the rule of the Tudors to remain. Elizabeth despised the talk of succession, but people were worried what would happen to England if she were to die, and there would be no heir to replace her. She received many proposals, but rejected all. It is clear that Elizabeth did not have enthusiasm towards marriage or bearing children. Elizabeth believed if she were to marry a man, he would want to take part in the ruling, and she wanted to rule England solo. Elizabeth soon became a wife to her kingdom. In addition to not producing an heir, Elizabeth left the world without appointing a male heir. Her intention was to have others provide for England's future. During the 16th century, religious extremism was apparent between the Protestants and Catholics, and a fear of religious civil war arose. Elizabeth despised this religious divide and wanted to unite the two religions. She did not want to persecute anyone for his or her beliefs. In 1559, Elizabeth established the Elizabethan religious settlement, which comprised of two acts, the Act of Supremacy and the Act of Uniformity. When Elizabeth was crowned queen, it was expected she would restore England Protestant faith. Though Elizabeth was raised a Protestant, she did not oppose Catholicism. She remained a Protestant, but believed that Protestantism and Catholicism were the same faith. Elizabeth believed in religious toleration, and so she allowed freedom of religious practice to the Catholics. The Act of Supremacy gave Elizabeth absolute control over the Church of England. Elizabeth modified her name from Head of Church of England to Supreme Governor of Church of England in order to not upset the Catholics. The act also included an oath of loyalty that the clergy had to swear by, or else they would lose their office. The Act of Uniformity stated that all Protestants and Catholics must attend the same Anglican church, which held conservative services the way the Queen liked it. Her goal was to make the church likable, so Catholicism would eventually fade out. Her goal was achieved, and by 1603, most of the nation's population was Protestant. Elizabeth is acknowledged as one of the most admirable monarchs of all time. She succeeded in being a woman ruler, and showed all people that women could rule just as well as men. She became known as a powerful and ruthless monarch, yet her virtuous and caring qualities enabled her to succeed during the upheavals and hostilities of her time. The Battle of the Spanish Armada took place in May of 1588. Philip II of Spain owned vast amounts of Spanish land. At the time, Spain was a Roman Catholic country and England Protestant. As early as 1585, Philip II devised plans to invade England, dethrone Elizabeth, and to crown his daughter Isabella, Queen of England. This plan was to make England Roman Catholic instead of Protestant. When rumors of this invasion got to Elizabeth, she employed all her efforts to raise funds so England would be prepared whenever Spain would attack. Men of England and Wales sat by the seas on cliffs, day and night, to watch for incoming Spanish ships. When they eventually saw ships coming on May 1588, word spread across England and to the Queen before the Spanish even arrived. Because of Elizabeth's preparation, England defeated Spain. Defeating Spain is known as Elizabeth's finest achievement and honor. Through the Battle of the Spanish Armada, England became one of the most powerful countries in the world. After Elizabeth's reign, England was able to rival Spain and France more easily because of her improvements to economic reforms. Elizabeth's contributions during her reign made England a prosperous country, which set the stage for it to become an empire.